Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this month's edition of Métis Coffee Talk, live for this Thursday, September 26th. Sorry for a bit of the late start. We had a bit of a technical glitch starting. We had a later start already. It seems to be working now. So to all of our members and our friends and partners, we apologize for a few minute delay here, but we seem to be working now. So we're going to carry on with the show. Just want to say welcome. My name is Keith Henry. I'm the president and CEO for the BC Métis Federation, and really happy to be with you, giving an update. September has been a very eventful month for the Federation. So we're just going to share some important highlights. And I want to welcome our guests here this evening. First of all, I want to, we have a new guest here tonight. Lisa Armstrong is joining us, our Director of Child, Youth, and Family. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Hi, Keith. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be on tonight. And I am broadcasting from Kamloops, British Columbia, and I am the Director of Child, Youth, and Family. Started the new portfolio last November. So I'm excited for tonight. Lots of things to share. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, Lisa, how's the weather in Kamloops right now?
Well, it's been raining and windy where things are blowing around, and I was a little worried about it being late tonight because of power outages near my home. So hoping that we can make it through and I get to present. I know I missed the big AGM, so I'm going to have to present a little bit tonight.
It's all good. It's all good. And so thank you we'll come back to Lisa later.
You.
Like I said, we might ask you a couple of opinions from time to time, but we'll keep it pretty low key for you, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. And I want to welcome our friends joining us again from Terrace, British Columbia. Of course, we see our former Vice President, Rene Therian. He's now not the Vice President. After the election, he decided to step into a Director at Large role. You know, the world didn't change, Rene. Welcome back this month. And, business as usual, I see.
Yes, business as usual. I'm quite busy with the Michif language. I'm spending a lot of time with Roseanne and Jeannie and the crew. I think we're making good progress, and yeah, and my shoulder, well, it's not quite cooperating yet, but I hope it gets better soon. So thank you.
Yeah, we talked about this last month, and I know that a lot of people may or may not actually realize, but how, incredibly, to be honest with you, how tough you are, because you've been sitting here with a separated shoulder as an unfortunate accident in about a month or so ago, and playing fiddle with a separated shoulder. So I've been telling everyone behind your back, Rene is the toughest 80-year-old man I know in all of British Columbia, because I've had separated shoulders, and I got to tell you, I couldn't even lift a straw. So I am telling you, welcome, and thank you for being the tenacious guy that you are.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just want to say, hey, well, we've got the band back here. I see there's Mike and Sean. Mike, welcome back and helping out again. Mike, you were at our annual general meeting in Victoria. Any thoughts you want to share before we get into the show tonight?
Oh yeah, we really had a great time. We were very pleased to be invited there, and we always enjoy playing music for people that like that kind of music. And the crowd there certainly seemed to be interested in it, and so are we. So we had a great time, and I really enjoyed myself. And thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, well, you're in a Métis friendly bunch, so they're gonna love that music. Yeah, but anyways, thanks, Mike. Really, it was such a pleasure to have you and the missus there, and we really did value having you there, and having you learn more. You contribute on the show so often, and it's nice for you to get a bit more context of the size and scope of the organization and outside of Métis Coffee Talk once a month. So thank you for doing that. Sean, as well, you were there. I hope you and your partner enjoyed being at the annual general meeting. Any thoughts about the annual general meeting you were at?
Yeah, we did really enjoy it. It was great to play for the group. I was impressed by the size of the meeting. There was really a full house there, and it was really good to see, and how strong and powerful the group is.
Yeah.
And there was some great dancing going on too, which we were glad to play for. So
yeah,
it was also good.
Well, we just want to say thanks again to both, Sean, to you and your partner. It was great to have you guys there, and just to continue to help you get context of the size of the organization. You guys only see certain impressions and events in Terrace, but there's a much broader number of members and partners out there. And so it's nice for you guys to get to see the bigger picture. So enough with that. Why don't we start by kicking off the show? Renee, Mike, and Sean, why don't you give us a first song? What song were you going to play for us, Renee?
I think I'm going to try with an old oldie here called Turkey in the Straw.
Okay. That's great, Renee. Thank you for the obviously the great music. Turkey in a Straw. It's get the spirit going right off the hop in this for this show, and we certainly appreciate and value the work you guys are doing for sure. So there is a number of items that I want to quickly go into this evening. Lots of information to share with our members, of course. And I just want to say that part of obviously the work we do in the Federation is just trying to share information that's valuable and updates members about sort of all the important work in front of the Federation. And I know that we do that every month, right? So, what I want to spend tonight just quickly talking about. There are some topics that are just basic updates for members, of course, but there are also some challenging things that we're dealing with, and so. I'm going to try and do my best to summarize quickly with the items, the issues, and really just and try and hopefully get some conversation going amongst us with Renee, and of course maybe Lisa, get her to give us some thoughts around some of these items. So we talked about it already. We've put out information. We put out a press release, the 2024 annual general meeting. I don't want to belabor the issue, but we're really proud to announce the completion of our annual general meeting, as well as announce the results of the election of the 9 directors. So, we put out information about that. I'm sure most people have seen that information. If not, I'm really, really thankful, to the directors that really let their name stand. Let themselves run for office, and I think it's important because it's not an easy job. Running these organizations, and some of you may have seen the media we put out for our members. I want to whether it's Renee Therian, he went from vice president to a director. Jordan Therian, our youth rep. Cindy Wilgosh from the Clearwater, obviously community. Roseanne Forget up in Terrace as well. Jackie Swaisland is returning as secretary. Earl Belcourt, Earl gave a really impassioned speech there, and I just haven't seen that emotional side of him. So he's returning, and we received a new gentleman. He's unfortunately wasn't in this picture, but Robin McClay, and he's from Victoria, and just a well-known individual. And we've put information out now about them. But I just want to say thank you to the directors for the information and for the people just standing together, to work together to build the organization. It's the 9 directors. Have a lot of work in front of us, and these things are just going to be carrying on. And I just want to say thank you for those folks allowing that and allowing their name to stand. So I won't belabor that issue. I just want to say we've got a 4-year mandate from the membership, and we're going to keep moving things forward in as healthy a way as possible. So lots of work ahead of us, and I'm sure many of you have seen the press release, and I don't need to go through that too much more, other than to say that obviously we just want to thank the board members that have decided to put themselves out there and be leaders on behalf of the Federation. So really appreciate it. And again, thanks to all the members that came out. Sean talked about it when we introduced the show. We had roughly about 150 people there. Most of these members are people that took money out of their own pockets to come to that event, and that says a lot, right? I mean, in this day and age where money's tight and things aren't great for every family, that's a really great turnout for us, and I just want to say thank you for that. And so, again, to the directors, I just want to say thank you very much. And I know some of you are commenting online. I am following along online, and it's how much we appreciate the support from the folks that have done that. So, Renee, any surprises for you, I guess, with the annual general meeting or the election or anything like that? I mean, obviously you've got Roseanne, Jordan, and Elizabeth Pierce. Unfortunately, she also had a bit of a spill, so couldn't make it, and she wasn't in this picture as well. But she's returning as she was an elder appointed position before. Now she's elected to a director at large, and will update members about their role. But any other sort of thoughts around the election, or what you thought of the speeches, or any sort of membership feedback on that?
The AGM was well put together. There was a lot of people. I had lots of fun. We played, and the people that ran, there are people. We got a new board member, but the rest of them, I'm happy to work with them. They were good for the last couple of years, and I'm looking forward to work again. Now it's 4 years.
Yeah, it was easy. We wanted 4 years because we wanted to have. We thought it would at the governance side of it. The board was pushing a resolution for it, and we would pass there because we thought 2 years was a short term. Now that we're in, it's like, wait, 4 years is a very long time. So I don't know. Maybe we've locked ourselves in for a long time. But anyways, I thought it was great. Lisa, I know you weren't there. You missed out on a great. I'm sorry, you did miss out on a pretty fun event beyond the politics and election. It was well attended, and I know you were missed. I just want you to know you were missed very much, although you weren't there in spirit or in person. You were there. You were certainly cared for in spirit. So just know that you'll be there next year.
I heard you had a lot of great comments. You did my presentation perfectly. Apparently my books made it to the table while I was here going, I wish I could have watched it. So yeah, I was impressed. I had a lot of great comments and good feedback. So
Absolutely.
way to go, team.
Yeah, exactly. Well, listen, I just want to finalize this with the AGM. Listen, the draft minutes are out. They're posted. They're on our website. You can go to bcmétis.com. You can look at the minutes. We just basically post any sort of official motions and action items and just a quick summary on a number of the topics. I encourage members, partners, have a look at the minutes. You can certainly be informed if you choose. And they're public, they're transparent, and we welcome everyone to look at that. And I just want to remind people online, thank you to those of you that are watching. Anyone wants to ask me any questions, please, by all means, put it on the thing. I'll do my best to ask the guests or myself, okay? So yeah, with that, Renee, why don't you give us another cultural tune here? I'm not sure what you want to play, but why don't you give us one more cultural tune?
Okay. It's called Stolman's Jig.
Thank you, Renee. Great song. Any memories that song conjure up for you?
Pardon?
Any memories that song relevant for you? Why you pick it?
It's an old tune that was written by Andy DeJarlis, and I picked that up when I was a kid back in Manitoba.
Nice. Perfect. Well, thank you for sharing that song to the group, and we'll come back to you shortly. I do want to go to the next item in the update for the members this month, and then we'll come to Lisa after this section. But there's an important thing that came out this week, and I want to preface again, we seem to talk about conflict at times between the growing conflict between some of the First Nations in British Columbia and Métis. And I just want to say that some of you may have seen, we posted a statement, of course, just very recently in response. The First Nation Leadership Council issued a news release this week. And it was really, for me, I just want to say that it's hard to read this because I feel like people are trying to position us versus the First Nations. And I just want to say that we've been feeling very frustrated because as Métis people, we often feel like we're being like trying to have our presence erased. And I don't know what anyone actually knows how that feels like, but I'm going to tell you from a personal perspective, forget the fact that I'm the president of the BC Métis Federation. I just feel that I don't know if the people that are putting these statements together understand the impact it has to us as human beings, as we feel very proud of who we are and whatnot. So I'm just going to read through this. It's another one of these statements where I feel like there's misunderstandings here by the First Nations Leadership Council and their particularly the Union of BC Indian Chiefs and the First Nation Summit. That's sort of the three major groups. So the First Nation Leadership Council is the umbrella governance group of those organizations in British Columbia. But it says right now that the Leadership Council stands in solidarity with the Coast Salish peoples and fully supports their statement of solidarity opposition to the BC Métis Federation. The statement endorsed by 45 Coast Salish nations, bands, and communities is an unprecedented show of unity in defense of Coast Salish laws, ancestors, names, and histories. We join the Coast Salish in denouncing the claim recently filed on behalf of BCMF by their legal counsel and the ahistorical and deeply offensive assertions made on it. The claim represents a threat to any First Nation and now in what is now known as British Columbia, whose territory BCMF erroneously asserts is home to the Pacific Northwest Métis and their so-called communities. Chief Don Tom, UBC IC Vice President, stated, BC-based Métis organizations, including the BC Métis Federation, have shown time and again, and they're more than willing to ignore facts and place self-interest over respecting and upholding the inherent constitutional and human rights and inherent laws, legal systems of governance, and jurisdiction of First Nation hosts. The unprecedented Coast Salish unity expressed through the statement of solidarity is further proof that First Nations in BC have had enough of this disrespect. Now we stand united in opposing it. Regional Chief Terry TG remarked, First Nations in BC are faced with myriad of challenges that desperately require our time and attention. We know the truth and the fact that we must expend limited resource to push back against BC-based Métis organizations' false assertions and histories beyond insulting. We fully support and stand with Coast Salish in their unprecedented show of unity in opposition to the actions of the BC Métis Federation. When Northern Gateway Pipeline was still in the news, the BC Métis Federation opposed that pipeline, citing the need to ensure respect for First Nation territories and ensure communications in relation to that decision that affects our lands, stated Hugh Breaker of the First Nation Summit Political Executive. He added, now here we are 12 years later, and the Federation's AGM is sponsored almost exclusively by extractive industry. They signed on to Trans Mountain, and they've launched litigation in which they claim to represent the Métis people indigenous to BC. We stand united in opposition to BC Métis Federation's claim and fully support the Coast Salish and their statement of solidarity. You know, I don't understand. So we don't want to be like fighting about it, but let me be the first to say that this statement is a lot, and in my opinion, of course, I'm not trying to be totally rude or ignorant, but our statement speaks for itself. We released in response to this immediately after this came out. Our response is simply this. Earlier today, and this was, of course, we released this, as you can see on the website in front of you. It was yesterday. After this came right out, we basically both documents reference a claim filed against the government of Canada by the BC Métis Federation. The BC Métis Federation has brought these proceedings against Canada to protect its members' right to equality with other Métis people in BC and their right to freely associate and pursue their common goals. The lawsuit does not involve the UBCIC or any party other than the federal government. In light of the ongoing court proceedings, we have no further comment at this time. I just want to say to everyone watching this, like, this is not, in my opinion, we've got to find a way with the Federation. I know we're going to work on strategy here to try and help work with First Nations to continue to help them understand our claim has nothing to do with trying to get title or trying to take their title or trying to denounce their rights. In fact, we've been public. We're the one Métis organization that doesn't have so-called laws like certain other Métis organizations that sort of supersede or give the impression that they're going to have Métis laws over First Nations lands. We don't have that. We've never developed that. But what we are doing in this case is we're saying we should have equal rights to Métis funded programs. They're not understanding that our members are being discriminated against already existing Métis programs. And this whole comparison on the Trans Mountain and we have extractive industry, that's not accurate. There's some partners, absolutely. But there's a bunch of those companies that helped work with us that are actually Métis-owned partnerships. Like, I don't think they understand that those sponsors came from a variety of industry partners and nothing to do with Trans Mountain. Those are just industry partners we work with on a number of fronts, and some of those are Métis-owned businesses. So I just think that I'm really disappointed to read this constant attack on us as Métis people. We're not trying to fight with First Nations, but they just go out of their way to insert themselves into a case that has nothing to do with them. This is about freedom of association, that you can't say to Métis BCMF members that the only way they can be Métis is if they exist because the Métis Nation BC, quite frankly, says they're Métis. That's not right. There's no federal legislation that says that. There's no provincial legislation that says that. There's no laws in Canada that say that. That's what we're trying to deal with here. Do we hope one day we can understand about rights? Sure. But this has nothing to do with attack. Like, I don't know why they would expend resources, time, and energy. Why don't they just sit and talk with us? What I find fascinating about this is that First Nation leadership, on one hand, talks about protocol, talks about these things, but then they don't just pick up the phone and talk to us and try and figure out a way to create bridges. Like, we've reached out several times to each of these groups and said, look, here's a letter. Can we talk about a protocol agreement? We have put that on the table many times, and we will continue to hope one day that First Nations and us can find a way forward in a good way. But I really feel this case is wrong, or this press release misunderstands. And whether they like it or not, there is Métis history that is on primary resources in British Columbia. Yes, there's First Nation, no doubt that the thousands of years of time immemorial. We're never ever trying to suggest that. We know that BC has been claimed by 128% of its landmass. That means the First Nation claims have claimed overlapping claims add up to 128% of the entire landmass of British Columbia. So title, we understand the challenges. We're not trying to interrupt that. But to then position First Nations that somehow to all their members and to their partners that somehow we're a threat and we're not really Indigenous to BC, I'm sorry, that is not appropriate, and nor is that fair. And I keep saying this, Hugh, if you want to sit down and talk, or Terry TG, you want to make strong, like, sit down and talk with us. We will be happy to talk. We'd love to have that conversation. And unfortunately, we welcome that. We've reached out to you guys several times. Mr. TG knows that I reached out to him through social media privately, say, hey, come on, can we talk about this stuff? So, the power of the pen is one thing, but the actual having relationships is a reciprocal responsibility. So we respect First Nations. It's absolutely, I really feel disappointed to read this. And I really feel that we're going to try and come up with hopefully some better ways to reach out. But I don't want to go on and on about this, but I just was really surprised. I want our members to know we are just working through the process. We're unapologetic about it. We're going to take this case forward exactly the way we need to, because the fact is there is Métis history in BC. Absolutely, without any doubt ever. So we just need to help people understand that and understand we need to be mutually respectful as we get there. So anyways, let's just stop there for a moment. Renee, any thoughts? I know a bit newer to all of us, the Federation. We were really quite disappointed and surprised with this latest statement, and we're trying to find a way to be professional and respectful, but I don't like hearing that we're not Indigenous to BC. We're not Indigenous people is really the tone there. So your thoughts about this kind of stuff without, I'm not trying to be adversarial. I really want us to work with the leadership councilors, but we got to have mutual respect. So I don't know, any initial reactions you have on this?
Well, like you mentioned, we're not trying to take anything away from the First Nation, but I'm a bit disappointed. We're just trying to fight for our right to show we could help our members. And to me, I think they're opposing, and I think it's wrong for them to do that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just feel like they seem to think that we're trying to take their territory time. And we saw this in the coastal water protectors months ago where we literally almost had fist fights at a meeting. And then and 6 months before that, they were denouncing other things. Like we got to find a better way. So I know we're going to be committed to working with First Nations in a good way. Hopefully they'll join us on the journey. We've reached out, we've had some reach out to us and then they back away. So it's like, it's really feels like, I don't know. I just find the irony of this. Like they say we need to have conversations and dialogue with everyone else in British Columbia, but then when we ask for it, they're nowhere to be found. So I'm not sure how to handle that. Lisa, you've been around lots of Indigenous politics in British Columbia. Any quick insights you want to share, or what's your sort of reaction when you read that kind of information?
It is quite a shock to see this type of stuff still like beginning to happen and been happening over the last couple years or so. In my 25 years of working in the social work sector from all different areas, I've worked very closely with the bands. I've worked with Aboriginal support workers. I've actually presented to the First Nations chiefs in Vancouver back in 2007 around stopping youth sexual exploitation. A whole room of First Nations chiefs from the entire area of BC. So I really find this disheartening because I think under the Indigenous umbrella, we can all work together where you look at the First Nations, the Métis and the Inuit, we're under that big umbrella. We already have enough stuff within ourselves, and having this fight is just no good. So
what I read at the core of this, it's always about, you can see they feel there's a threat to economics. There's only so much money in the Indigenous pie. And I see Joe Uri talking about this online right now, and it's absolutely true. Like they absolutely think that there's only so much resources and wealth, and it's like we can't be part of Indigenous economic opportunities. We can't be part of Indigenous employment. What are we saying here? There's more than enough resources to help support all of our communities. We have Métis members in dire straits. We have Métis businesses that deserve equal opportunity. We have Métis people that aren't accessing federal programs and services for Métis people. My bigger fear on the bigger side of this is that they're twisting it into this thing where some grassroots First Nation people are just going to despise everything we do, and that's not right. Like we're polarizing it, and I hope that they can find a way just to talk with us so we can find a better way forward. So I'll just let that go there. Why don't we lighten up a little bit? Renee, why don't we go back to one more song with you guys? Let's get another song. What song do you want to walk us into, bring us our spirits back in a better way?
Okay, I'm going to slow it down and I'm going to play Cajun Waltz.
Great job, Renee. Thanks for bringing us back to some cultural middle ground here. Cajun Waltz, slowing it down. You know what I realized? I was sitting here thinking the irony of this right now, on a lighter note as well. It's Métis Coffee Talk, but here I am drinking a Pepsi Zero, so I guess we're Pepsi Talk tonight for the month of September. Sorry, to the fans. I'm sure someone will point that out to me after the show, if not already brought up on a sidebar somewhere. But anyways, I didn't have coffee, so it's late for me out here. I'm not drinking coffee at where I am right now. I'm in Eastern Canada, so it'd be it's midnight. But anyways, great job, you guys. And that song. How many years have you been playing that song for, Renee?
Maybe from 10 years, maybe something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like Cajun music, so it's
Yeah.
something like Cajun fiddle, Cajun waltz.
Perfect. All right. Look, we're gonna go to our next guest. We'll come back to some more music in a bit. But yes, Lisa, welcome again to the show.
Hello.
Yeah. So,
So-
so you got some materials you want to share with us? Why don't you start talking us through what's going on with the Child, Youth, and Family Department?
Wow, we've got a lot of great materials that we've been developing over the last few months, including something called Development Matters. It's a language, culture, and family resource guide. It was done through interdepartments. We worked with the language and midship department to create a book called Development Matters. It's birthed to 5 years. It will be able to be found online, and if someone would like a copy of it, just they can email the office and we can send it out. We also have something called a fall discussion series. We've done 2 events already. Both have turned out very well. If we can bring that up a little bit just to showcase the next few weeks that we've got going on. Okay, so we just finished our second session tonight, or today, sorry, I'm a little behind. It's a long day for me too. How do you look after yourself during the court procedures, and what does it all mean? So what this particular piece has been all about is general terms. Who do you look for when something has happened to you, whether you've got yourself involved with the Ministry of Children and Families, or a delegated agency has, come out and said, hey, we have a problem, we've contacted you, and perhaps your child is at risk of going into care. So we talk about all the different procedures, court procedures, who to get hold of within our province of British Columbia, what does some of the legislation mean, and a lot around self-care and looking after yourself during this time. And there is a really good 25-page PowerPoint presentation, which will be available as well in a PDF format once we finish the series. So next week is one on October 3rd. It's learning to live with good stress and bad stress. It's basically stress management, and we all go through different stressors, and sometimes we don't know how to handle those things. So we learn to develop bad coping mechanisms, and they outrule sometimes our good coping mechanisms. So hopefully that'll be very well attended. I know the last 2 groups have been, which I'm pleased with. I've had a couple people who have actually got my poster from the AGM have been attending, and I actually met one of them in August at our meet and greet in Victoria. So that was really great to see him online. Our next one is October 10th. It's understanding anger and how to manage it. So in anger management, again, this is all going to be based around the Métis self-care wheel, which I will be introducing into stress management. And we're going to have a little more interaction in that one. You get to draw your own wheel. And again, anything that we do in these sessions, we will have PowerPoint presentations that will be made available to anybody who is part of the session or who has maybe missed it and they want to really see what happened and what's going on. We can make those things available to you. Week October 17th, we've got the Métis self-care wheel. And as people, we are more than just one part. We are made up of all sorts of aspects. We are physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So what this is going to do is going to introduce you to a way of being and understanding how one part affects the other. And if something's not in balance, it throws you off, and it really throws off how your day goes, how your week might be going. And if you've added stress to it, we're going to get you through that. And our biggest series that I felt has been a really huge piece in the news lately since about 2021 is around staying safe and what is youth sexual exploitation. It is a really, really getting bigger and larger out there when it comes to our children being exploited and our youth being exploited. It's getting worse, especially online luring and grooming. There's a lot of children that have gotten themselves into situations that they're afraid to tell their parents on. And I think this 3-part series is an extremely important piece of keeping our children, youth, and families safe. It's open to guardians, it's open to caregivers, grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles, whoever wants to have this information, please sign up and definitely be a part of this. We've created a booklet actually specifically for this 3-piece series.
Lisa, do you want the booklet or?
Yeah, if you want to bring that up for just a second or two.
Yeah, I absolutely will. Just give me 1 second here. I'll pull it up on the screen for you now.
And this is the Stopping Child and Youth Sexual Exploitation Awareness and Knowledge book. Are you able to open the first page for me? Okay, there we go. Sorry, I was going to open this way. My bad. So this is everything you're going to find in this booklet. If you can just bring it just a little bit up for me, Keith. Thank you. We talk about this. We talk about what the law states. And I will read this out just for a moment. Sexual exploitation encompasses the touching directly or indirectly of a person between 16 and 17 years of age for sexual purpose. It covers the Act, Section 153(1) of the Criminal Code of Canada, so other known the code. Technological advances in the last 15 to 20 years have led to an increase in sexual exploitation charges. However, what this has not talked about is all the stuff that's going on online, such as Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram. These are all breeding grounds for all sorts of predators. And it's getting worse because now a lot of our kids, 13 and up, 12 and up even, are finding these things and they're talking to people that they may not even know who they're talking to. And it presents a very dangerous situation. So I felt that this series, being myself, I have a grandma of 6 grandchildren. 3 of them are on Instagram and it drives me bonkers, but they also know the safety. So these are some of the things you're going to be learning about. And this booklet will be available on our site, or available again when we have these series going on. I can send this out to whoever is part of the group. And if you've missed it, absolutely, it'll be made privy to you as well.
Okay, Lisa, so is there anything else you want to add about this? I mean, those are obviously some important lots of workshops coming up. I know that obviously you've got some other, I mean, you got the fall online series, and I'll just I just want to remind people they can find that information obviously on our website in the events section. So if I'm going to just pull up on the screen for everyone, we went through that very quickly here as part of the update here tonight. But I just want to remind people, if you go to the events section at bcmétis.com and hit the events page, a number of these things, for example, you talked about the event on September 26th. That was earlier today. How was that session? How did you feel people participated in the session? How did that go for you today?
It was really good. I really enjoy the timeline, because if you do anything later, people are gonna be wanting to have supper, and if you do something too early in the mornings, people are taking their kids to school, or maybe they just can't make it due to their work hours or whatever. And for people who want to be part of this, we want to open it up to as many people as who we feel needs it. I like the smaller, intimate groups because we get a lot more talking done, a lot more questions. And it's great. The very first group, as well as this one, has given me some really great ideas for future topics, including adult resources, and especially around disability groups and stuff. And that to me is really important as well. And we're not seeing that much out there about it. So I think it's definitely a potential for winter topics.
Perfect. Well, Lisa, the bottom line for all of these sessions is that each of these is continuing to be added to our events section. If you're looking to participate, a lot of these, most of these are online. So it's how do we register, Lisa? What does the member have to do, or the person that's watching tonight? What do they have to do to register for? Say
They have to go to our website and get hold of Danielle, and she will set them all up. And she will give them a Zoom link to the next session, and they will just participate. They just go in. There it is, right there. Just get
click
hold
on the
of.
events.
Yeah.
Click on the event itself. It'll bring you to some instructions. You send an email into d.desjardins@bcmétis.com, and you'll be sent in the information of how to participate with the Zoom link. So, Lisa, keep up the good work. Any final thoughts about the work you're doing? Obviously, some of these are really, I have to say, I won't get into my own life, but as you know, well, you don't know, but like my son's friends, he's he just turned 16. What you're saying is very real for these young men, and particularly some of these hockey guys, and my son plays with, and some of them have been very impacted by some very serious events. And I just think as parents, like like I've had to learn the tools on the fly. I just think it's another great way for our Métis members watching tonight, and maybe something you might want to think about. It's a lot of us don't think it affects us, but boy, oh boy, you're making like that luring, and the stuff I see on social media is really, really quite serious right now, to your point. So anyways, thanks for the work you're doing, but any final comments to folks about the work you're doing on this?
I guess we are going to also be doing an Orange Sash campaign. We're going to be doing that on September 30th in Clearwater. Keith and I will both be speaking. My end of it will be speaking about what this means, what the meaning of the orange sash is, and some of us are wearing ours tonight, our little sashes. And it will be the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. The orange sash symbolizes the children who died in residential schools, and as well as it's honoring the children that never came home, the survivors, as well as the families and the communities. So this is a very important day, and I actually look forward to presenting our first annual orange sash to represent all of our Métis children, families, and all inclusive of all children that have been lost. So it's very close to my heart. So, and I'm looking forward to having people there. And of course, if you have any questions as well, I'm available. I can be made available. My email is on our poster site. So thank you.
Well, thanks for Lisa for mentioning that. Yeah, so the Federation, we have a number of our partner communities are having events of some sort in different parts of the province. The one major event that Lisa and I will be participating at, and I look forward to seeing, of course, the president there, Cindy Wilgosh, and the board. I know there's so many of the members there that we know quite well, but I will be participating in that event, obviously, this coming Monday. It's National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. It has become a holiday for many of us in Canada, but it starts at 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. It's a full day event at the North Thompson Aboriginal Cultural Center. At the Dutch Lake Community Center, hosted by the North Thompson Aboriginal Cultural Center Society. I look forward to seeing members there, and I know Lisa and I will be sharing information. And and I just encourage everyone to. It's a day for us to commemorate and remember, and just know that residential schools impacted many Métis families. It's still a largely not well-known fact, and my family included, and many of yours, I'm sure. So it's our day to let's make sure that we honor, do our best. The Federation has these little mini orange sashes, and I just want to thank Lisa for the work she's doing to raise that awareness. So thank you, Lisa, for some very important information. And again, to our members, go to bcmétis.com event section to look forward to participating in many of those items. So with that, thanks. Any final words, Lisa?
I do have one final word. Anybody who has any type of topic ideas, if you want to see something that's not listed on my poster, please again send us a message and saying, hey, can you do something like this? And I will do my best to put an online topic on for you. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, we're gonna move along here. Renee, how about another song from you guys? What song do you want to play for us?
I'm going to play one's called Waltz Quadrille, and I think you'll remember this one.
Okay. Well, another great job. Great song, Renee, and then team, of course, Sean and Mike. I like that waltz quadrille. I like how you pluck at the strings, as you know. That's so. Thank you for bringing that. I like that song a lot, as you know, and yeah, it's very very talented. I can't. I can barely tie my shoes some days, it seems like. So how you can pluck and play is beyond me, but that's not my aptitude. So anyways, thank you guys. That was a great song. I want to just yeah, I want to just jump back the couple things I want to just make sure I get in before we end tonight. I just want to let our members know, thank you to those members that came out here on the final sort of the summer sort of sessions, summer events of beach cleanup. Yeah, I'm sure many of you saw we posted this press release here yesterday, but very thankful to the folks that were out on September 14th. That's the final sort of sweeping the shores event. This one is out in the Surrey area on September 14th. Dozens of volunteers braved the rain and wind to clean the shores of Blackie Spit Park, fueled by sustenance from Italiano's Pizza and Sunflower Cafe. So thank you to those sponsors. The volunteers collected and removed garbage and recycling from the shoreline, leaving the area cleaner for all to enjoy. You know, this summer, this was all about, again, the coastal conservation or the conservation department. We're starting to navigate just to more of that name, but that was amazing. You know, like so many great people came out over the summer. You know, you can see we had events April 6th, May 11th, June 8th, June 13th, or July 13th, August 4th, and we finished here in September 14th. And you can see in all the different locations, we really did the sort of sweeping the shore events. And thank you to the, you know, you can see pictures from the event here on September 14th. I'm very proud of our conservation team, Angel, Zia, Tanner, everyone. These are the kind of things that, you know, the Federation is doing on a regular basis. I know we seem to be the target of some negative internal politics at times, and I understand that. But like what you heard with Lisa and the child, family, and youth work, or the conservation work, this is nothing but contributions to making our whole community in British Columbia a little bit better, and we're trying to bring our community to contribute to that. You know, and so thank you for the work. This is very powerful stuff, and just want to say thank you to the team there again. And I hope people get involved in 2025. You know, when we do the beach cleanup sessions and we're teaching conservation, we're trying to help our Métis community contribute to that and our youth to get involved. These are the kind of things we're doing, and I just think it's an amazing tool to have, and such leadership. So again, thanks for the great summer of beach cleanup sessions, team, and we're really thankful and proud of every single one of you, and I want to thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart. The last thing I wanted to show you though tonight, there's a couple of things I'll just quickly touch on before we end. I was sent this really beautiful video, and I just have to share it. It's a story that it's a I guess a piece by some folks that some of you will know. From some Alberta Métis friends. I see Joe Uri's online tonight, but I have to say this video is exceptionally powerful. It's really a story of you can see told through the eyes of two Indigenous sort of tourism folks. But why I'm bringing it here is because, as we know, Joseph Uri, he's from Alberta. Some of you might know. He's a good friend of mine. He's Métis and storyteller with the Métis Crossing, and Jeanette Miniguns, and herself, who is not, she's First Nation and whatnot. But this video celebrates the sharing of cultures and stories between Indigenous people and visitors worldwide. The buffalo is our connected tissue of all of ours. Embrace the buffalo. I just think this is so relevant about bringing First Nations and Métis together to know we have a shared history, a shared story to tell. And I just want you to enjoy. It's a 4-minute clip. I want to share it. It's such a powerful video that most of you would have never seen before. And I just want to say thanks, Joe, for the work he's doing. And we'll come up and wrap up the show.
I dream of buffalo. My blood memory dreams in Buffalo.
Nuhtohkanohkuik ihpinnan ini. Absaduki nitkukinnan ini. Udayistapus ini. Stamkhkanaystapu ni betapi isinna.
Can you hear that? They're coming. This new gift from the buffalo has a story to tell.
Panitsitapi ihpaneskunuia ini uskutippi.
Who we were, who we are, and who we are all meant to be.
Gusto. Gusto. Gusto.
The buffalo will lead you here.
Ano. Gano.
I just want to say thanks to Joe. I think I wanted to show that as a great example of when we work together, First Nations and Métis, we have a shared history. In this case, that's the symbolic reference of the power of the buffalo that brought First Nations and Métis working together. In this case, in other ways we see in Alberta, but I mean, I just think it's so relevant given some of the stuff we're facing in British Columbia, and I think the genuine misunderstandings and what I hope that people realize is the incredible damage it does to people's who they are. And I just hope that as leaders of respective organizations, whether it's FNLC leadership or their team, we have a shared history, and then we do in the Pacific Northwest. When we refer to the Pacific Northwest Métis people, doesn't mean that we're trying to take away anything from the territory, but we have record of history of Métis people in this province since the early 1800s, and our research we're just dealing with that. So I just want to say to Joe, you're such I thank you for your guidance on this kind of work you're doing. That's such a powerful video. We're so proud of you and the work you're doing. And some of you might remember Joe was the person that lost a house in the Jasper fires only last month. And here he is trying to pick up and carry on. And I just want to say what a testament to the character and that he has. So I just want to end it on a good way. I just want to say as well, Renee, I'd love to hear one more song before we officially finish with the show tonight. Why don't you give us one more good song building off that great video we just saw and a great example of Métis and First Nation working together. Why don't you give us a one good Métis song for us tonight? Final song.
Okay.
Thank you, Renee and Mike and Sean. What another great performance, evening performance of you guys. Appreciate all the songs you contributed. What do you think of the video, Renee?
I think it was great. I like it. It's the buffalo means a lot to the Métis because that at one time without the buffalo they were hard to live by.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mike and Sean, thank you for always contributing to the work of the Métis community. We just want to just again a heartfelt thank you to both of you for joining us tonight.
More than welcome.
And Lisa, you know, you survived the show. Or did
I
you make
did.
it? Are you okay?
I did. I made it. I'm not anxious anymore. I wanted to actually talk more. So I look forward to the next time I get invited.
Lisa, we know you're not afraid to talk. We know that.
I'm good at that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. We'll have you back. Don't worry. We'll get you back on here. But
Thank you.
really appreciate, really thank you for your contributions tonight. And I just want a couple final quick reminders to all of you. I know I want to just remind our Métis friends up in Fort Nelson, there is an honoring our elders ribbon skirt workshop this weekend on the 28th on Saturday from 9 till 4. And you old Fort Métis Nation, you know, Karen Prowse and the team up there, have fun at the workshop. We wish you all the best of luck at that event. And you know, I just want to remind people again of other materials we have out there. We have our employment opportunity webpage, of course. We've launched at the of course at our regional annual general meeting. All these new openings. We've got a brand new platform called www.bcmétis.work. If you go through our job board on our regular site, you'll find it. But we absolutely encourage you to take a look. We've really added some new functionality. And so, yeah, if you're looking for Métis people or employers looking to post jobs, get involved with that landing page. Very, very important. We've put a lot of additional resources and efforts there to, you know, match employers with employees, and of course, help our Métis members in need really find a way to reach some great employment. And you know, again, I just want to say one last time again, on Monday, the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. Every child matters, you know, and I say that as I end the show because our Métis children matter. They are Indigenous, part of the Indigenous community in British Columbia, and I think we need to help respect the fact that there are Indigenous Métis people that live in the province of British Columbia, and it's okay. It's not a threat to any other Indigenous community. We're different, we're diverse, we're not the same, and that's perfectly okay. But we can't erase history, and we can't erase our respective roles of our families moving into a place like this, British Columbia, whether it's in the last few generations or now. But let's make Monday the day where we're all respecting all First Nation and Métis people in the province of British Columbia, and we'll work our way through it. You have our commitment at the Federation to work with Leadership Council of First Nation people and try and find a way to some common ground. You know, it's never easy discussions, but you have our commitment at the Federation that we're going to try and find our way through that. So as we end the show tonight, I just want to say thank you for joining us for this month. I look forward to seeing you again soon, obviously a month from now. And I know that our band will be here. I hope I can convince them to come back again. Oh, 2 thumbs up. I don't see Mike's thumb up. Maybe not. Maybe we'll have to renew the contract. Okay. $0 over 50 years and times 0. There you go. That's the and Lisa, we'll find a way to work into the next show. Okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody.
Well, with that, sorry, Lisa, go ahead. Yeah.
No problem. Thank you for inviting me again. And I looked forward to being on Coffee Talk. And again, anybody who would like any of the information or whatnot, please get hold of me. My email is on there.
Absolutely, Lisa. Okay, everyone. With that, my name is Keith Henry. I'm the president of the BC Métis Federation. I look forward to seeing you next month and giving you updated news and information. And take care of yourself, especially on Monday, so September 30th. And let's all just respect and work together. Take care.